Hello students, I am Meenakshi Sharma from Krishnakulam School, Raya, Mathura. Today I am going to start the chapter number 11, The Human Eye and a Colorful World for class 10th. We will start first part of the chapter, The Human Eye first. In this chapter, we will study human eye that uses the light and enable us to see the objects and all about the human eye. So let's start from the human eye. What is human eye? It is a sensitive sense organ. It acts like a camera, enable us to capture the colorful picture of the surroundings. And how it forms an image? It forms inverted real image on light sensitive surface on retina. And what is retina? We'll discuss details in next topic. First, see the diagram of human eye. And there are various parts in the diagram, and we will discuss its parts and its functions. Let's see the diagram. You will see the various parts of the human eye, like cornea, eyeball, iris, pupil, crystalline eyelids, ciliary muscles, retina, etc. Now we will discuss the functions of these parts. First, we will start from cornea. What is cornea, or what cornea does? Actually, cornea is a thin membrane through which light enters. It is the entry point from which light enters to our eyes. It forms the transparent bulk on the front of eyeball. Most of the refraction occurs at the outer surface of the cornea. First, what happens? First, light comes to our eyes through cornea. And next is eyeball. What is eyeball? It is approximately spherical in shape with a diameter of about 2.3 centimeter. Now next part is iris, which is most important part of our eyes. What is iris? It is dark muscular diaphragm that control the size of pupil. It is behind the cornea. And what is pupil, or how iris works with pupil, we'll discuss later. Now just see the main functions of the parts of our human eye. Next part is crystalline eyelids or eyelids. What is eyelids? It provides focused real and inverted image of the object on the retina. It is composed of a fibrous jelly-like material. This is convex lens and converges light at retina. So, what type of lens is present in our human eye? It's like convex lens. There are two type of lens, you know very well. One is concave and another is convex. What concave lens does? Concave lens always diverges the light reflected rays, and convex lens always converges the light. So, in a human body, there is convex lens is present which converges the reflected light. Where? In retina. And next function is of ciliary muscles. And what is ciliary muscles? Ciliary muscles helps to sense the curvature of eyelids and hence changes its focal length so that we can see the object clearly placed at different position. What ciliary muscles? It does a very important role which is very important for our human eye. Why? Because we see any object which is present is in near or far also. How can we see clearly an object if that object is situated in far away from us? Because these ciliary muscles, what it does? It adjusts our eyelids according to the position of an object. And after that, retina. Retina is very important part. What it does? The membrane with large number of sensitive cells. Means retina is like a screen where image is formed. There are two types of sensitive cells, light cells. We will discuss later about retina. There are two types, mainly two types are sensitive cells are present. One is cone or another is rods. We will discuss briefly later. Now see what pupil does. We have discussed about pupil and iris. Now see what pupil does. Let's take an example to explain this. Have you noticed that when you come out of a cinema hall or any dark places, after watching movie in the bright sunlight, our eyes got closed? What happened? If you come out from a cinema hall after watching a movie to outside where sunlight is present, what we feel? Our eyes automatically got closed. Why? And when you enter the hall from the bright light, you would not be able to see, and after some time you would be able to see. What you notice? If let's take an easy example. If you are sitting in your outside your home and suddenly you enter your room which is completely dark, means without no any light, then what you feel? You don't you're not able to see anything for some time, but after some time you can see things clearly. Why this happens? Now we discuss. Here the pupil of an eye provide a variable aperture whose size is controlled by iris. When the light is bright, iris contract the pupil so that less light enters the eye. And when the light is dim, iris expand the pupil so that more light enter the eyes. So what iris done? Iris control the size of pupil. If you are in bright light, then what iris does? It contract the pupil so that minimum light can enter our eyes. And if you are in dim light, then what iris does is expand the pupil so that more light can enter the eye. So when you are in cinema hall and you come out outside, what it does? Iris does the contract part for pupil, and when you enter a dark room from outside, what iris does? It expand the iris size so that more light can enter. Now we'll discuss the accommodation. What is accommodation? The ability of eye lens to adjust its focal length is called accommodation with the help of ciliary muscles. We have discussed about ciliary muscles. What ciliary muscles does? It controls the lens. And how it controls? Now we are discussing. And what is accommodation? It is related to ciliary muscles and lens. The ability of eye lens to adjust its focal length. What is focal length? You have studied for every object there should be a focal length to form an image. Maybe position of an object is different, but image should be formed where? At the retina. Whatever the position of the object, nearby us or far away from us, image should be formed at the retina. And their ability of eye lens to adjust the focal length by which the image is formed in our retina from any situation is called accommodation. And how it happens? It happens by ciliary muscles. What ciliary muscles does? Now we discuss. There are two types of adjustment. First one is relaxed, second one is contract. What is relaxed means? Relaxed means eye lens become thin. And what it does? It increases the focal length. When lens is thin, then the focal length will be increased, and then we are enabled to see the distant object clearly. When focal length will be increased, then we can see the distant object. Means if a object is situated is in far away from us, but also we can see that object. How? Because ciliary muscles make the eye lens is thinner, and then the focal length will be increased, and then we are enabled to see the distance which is situated in far away. And what is contract? Relaxed means expands. Contracts means when a object is in our near point, then the eye lens become thick. When eye lens become thick, its focal length will be decreased, and then we enable it enable us to see nearby object clearly. When the object is in nearby from us, then what ciliary muscles does? Ciliary muscles make the lens thick, it make contract. That's why we can see clearly the nearby object. Thus our eyes can see the distant object also and nearby object also clearly. How? Because when the object is in distant, then the ciliary muscles make relaxed our eyes. And what does the meaning of relax our eyes? Means the eye lens become thick, increase its focal length, and this enable us to see the distant object clearly. And when the object is situated in nearby us, what ciliary muscles does? It contract our eyes, means it make thick the lens. And what does it means? It means that the focal length is decreased, and when focal length is decreased, we can see the nearby object clearly. Now we are saying two point is near point and far point. And what is the near point and far point? What is near point of the eye? Actually, near point means 25 centimeter for normal eye, the minimum distance at which object can be seen most distinctly without strain. Without any strain, in which position you can see a object clearly, this is your near point. Maybe person by person, near point is slightly different. It is not compulsory that it will be 25 centimeter or 24 centimeter. Person by person, near point will be different, but for normal human eyes, the near point is 25 centimeter. If a object is situated in 25 centimeter from our eye, we can see that object very clearly without any strain, without any stress. So this is called near point. At which point, at which minimum point an object is situated, and we can see it most distinctly without any strain. And what is far point? It is infinity for normal eye. It is the furthest point up to which the eye can see object clearly. Maximum distance on which we can see the object clearly, it is called far point. And we can't measure the maximum distance which we can see, that's why it is taken as infinity. It is not exactly like infinity, but we can't measure. If you see a hill from our place in very distance, how can you measure the length between that hill and that your eyes? You can't measure. That's why we take this as infinity. You can see the sky also. How can you measure the distance between your sky and between your eyes? You can't measure the distance between sky and eye. That means you can see at infinity point also. You can see the stars clearly, you can see the sky clearly, you can even see the sun also. How? Because it is the far point. Now let's discuss about the defects of vision and their corrections. What is defects of vision and how it can be corrected? There are 3 points. First one is myopia. What is myopia? Nearsightedness. What is nearsightedness? If a person can see nearby object clearly but cannot see distant object distinctly, then we can say that this problem is called myopia. And in this case, where image formed? Image formed in front of the retina, means image does not reach the retina. It formed in front of retina. It can see near object very clearly, but it cannot see the distant object distinctly. If a person is suffering from myopia, he can see the near object very clearly, but he cannot see the distant object distinctly. Why? Because the image of a distant object is formed in front of the retina. It is not formed in the retina, and to see any object, the image should be formed in the retina. And how it can be corrected? First, see the reason. We will discuss corrections also, but first see the reason. Why this happen? There are mainly two reasons. First is excessive curvature of lens, means thick or decreases focal length, and second one is elongation of the eyeball. Sometimes what happen? If eyeball is big, then image is formed in front of the eyeball. What is the eyeball mainly? The distance between the eye lens and the retina. And if it is big, then sometimes image is formed in between the eye lens and retina. This can be one reason. And what is another reason? If the lens for human eye is thick, then this myopia can be occurred. And how can it corrected? If we use a concave lens of appropriate power, then it can be corrected. So remember, for correction of myopia defect, we use concave lens. Then let's see the second point is hypermetropia. What is hypermetropia? A person cannot see the nearby object clearly, but can see the distant object distinctly. What it does mean? If a person is suffering from hypermetropia, then he can see the nearby object very clearly, but can't see the distant object distinctly. In this case, image is formed behind the retina. What happened in myopia case? Image is formed in between the lens and retina, means in front of the retina. But in the case of hypermetropia, image is formed behind the retina. Then the person cannot see the near object. And what will be the reason for this? If the eyeball is too small, if the distance between lens and retina is too small, then image is formed behind the retina. And second one is increase in focal length of the eye lens. If the focal length of the eye lens is increasing, or you can say if the eye lens is very thin, then hypermetropia can occur. You have to remember the eyeball condition. First, in myopia case, what is the reason? Maybe eyeball is big. In the myopia case, eyeball may be big, very big, and in the hypermetropia, eyeball may be small. This can be a reason. And how can you correct hypermetropia? By using a convex lens for appropriate power. How can we see the power? We see at which point if you situated an object, the person can see. By using many instruments, you can test that is in which point if you place a object, a person can see it clearly. And by finding the power, we can use the convex lens or concave lens by the help of that power. For myopia, we use concave lens. For hypermetropia, we use convex lens. Now third effect of vision is presbyopia. What is presbyopia? As we become old, the power of accommodation of the eye usually decreases. The near point gradually recedes away. This is called presbyopia. In this problem, people may suffer from both myopia and hypermetropia. This is not because of a far point, this is not because of near point, this is because of our old age. When your age is gradually increasing, then many problems occurs in our body. And in presbyopia, what happen? What will be the reason? Gradual weakening of ciliary muscles and decreasing the flexibility of the eyelids. When you are in old age, then our many parts of our body become weak and is not able to do work properly. Like flexibility, our ciliary muscles will be weak, our flexibility will be very weak by our age increasing. Then this defect of vision may be occur. It may be myopia or it may be hypermetropia. How can we correct this option? Using bifocal lens with appropriate power. Now, what is bifocal lens? Bifocal lenses consist of both concave and convex lens. Upper portion consists of concave lens and lower portion consists of convex lens. Means in myopia we use concave lens, in hypermetropia we use convex lens. But in presbyopia, how can we prevent this option? By using bifocal length. Bifocal means two types of focal length. Two types mean one is for convex, one is for concave. Upper portion is for concave and lower portion is for convex. This is called presbyopia. Now another point is, very important point, is cataract. What is cataract? You know it very well. A point that you hear from many person, that cataract problem. What is cataract? The image cannot be seen distinctly because eye lens become milky and cloudy. Sometimes it happens in the morning time with us also. When you got up from your bed, then you can't see any object clearly. When we rub our eyes or when we wash our face by water, then you can see very clearly that objects. Why? Because our eyelids become milky and cloudy. This condition is known as cataract, and it can cause complete or partial loss of vision. If cataract problem is increasing, then it can lose our vision. And how it can correct it? This can be corrected by surgical removal of extra growth. We say this cataract surgery. What even? If cataract problem is occur, if it is very initial stage, then no problem. But if it is increasing, then there should be a very serious issue. It can be complete or partial loss our vision. We have to go to doctor and we have to do surgical operation for the clear vision. Okay.